About a week ago or so, before the election, a friend of mine was telling me about this QAnon stuff, okay? So, what is QAnon? Apparently it's this pseudo-religious craziness that's been started by Trump supporters that basically have Trump as the savior of America and blah 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 blah. But more importantly, the basis of this video, which is adrenochrome. Now, what was funny is I knew the name, the word adrenochrome sounded familiar. I research a lot on nutrition, and when I worked in mental health, I researched a lot on nutrition and how it pertained to mental and physical health because I ran a group. One of my jobs at the place was to run a group to help people uh, basically have better general health through diet and exercise. And during that time, one of the things that I discovered, which I forgot that I discovered, was the concept of what's called the adrenochrome theory of schizophrenia. Now, what's funny is, according to the QAnoners, if that's what you want to call them, I guess I'll call them the QAnoners or QAnons or whatever the hell they are. They believe that adrenochrome is some drug that's made by torturing children and then taking their blood and injecting it as a performance-enhancing substance. That's not at all what adrenochrome is. Adrenochrome is oxidized adrenaline, basically. It's also been implicated very well in the adrenochrome theory of schizophrenia in the cause of psychosis and in the cause of schizophrenia. It also explains why schizophrenia and other forms of psychosis and mental health issues respond so well to antioxidant theory or antioxidant supplementation, and why a lot of people have below average or normal antioxidant pools. Now, what I want to get into is the nutritional basis, the nutritional interventions for mental health issues. Now, schizophrenia is a unique disorder in that it has positive and negative symptoms. The positive symptoms are things like hallucination, especially command hallucinations and auditory hallucinations are very prevalent. The negative symptoms are being withdrawn. Now, I have a lot of negative symptoms. I don't have schizophrenia, but the thing is, I have some of the negative symptoms of schizophrenia, being withdrawn and things of that nature. Now, what's funny is, I had a thing for a girl with Asperger's, and so I learned everything I could about Asperger's. Now, Asperger's was originally the same thing as schizophrenia. It's just what you'll find out if you research Asperger's or autism is that these people have predominantly negative symptoms and no positive symptoms whatsoever. What the positive symptoms, of course, are delusion, delusional thinking patterns, and hallucinations, what have you. The negative symptoms are being withdrawn and disconnecting from reality. I have a lot of that, actually. It's gotten better over the years, but not great. I don't do well. Now, what's interesting is when I first started experiencing these symptoms of depersonalization and disconnection from reality and things like that, which come and go, was when I was very, very poorly nourished, when I was homeless, when I wasn't eating for 2-3 weeks at a time. I think the most I didn't eat actually was like 2.5 weeks I didn't consume any food. It was just water and maybe some like soda or coffee that I would get when I was in between jobs, because I was still working when I was homeless. I was working at a lumber yard. I was doing a lot. Now, so that's when I started having symptoms of depersonalization and things like that, which will be left in the description what that is. Now, what's interesting is that these things do respond well to nutritional therapies, nutritional interventions like the mind diet, like the supplementation. Now, this is the thing, psychosis, which is a positive symptom of schizophrenia, responds to taurine, which is an amino acid that also has very powerful antioxidant effects. The negative symptoms of schizophrenia, the being withdrawn and things like that, respond well to glycine, another amino acid with very high antioxidant properties. Also, schizophrenia and other issues such as dementia and things like that respond very well to antioxidant therapies, to the point that there was a whole branch of psychiatry created by a Dr. Abram Hoffer of Canada and a Dr. Linus Pauling. Abram Hoffer was a psychiatrist, and Linus Pauling, of course, is the chemist that won 2 Nobel Prizes. One Nobel Prize was in chemistry, and the other was in peace, because he helped support nuclear anti-proliferation agreements with the Soviet Union, the United States, and elsewhere. But the thing is, what's very infuriating is that we know these things exist. We know that schizophrenia responds to both responds to vitamin C therapy, glycine therapy, taurine therapy, etc. Now, what's interesting is this is not pursued. If you go into a psych unit or a psych ward, they don't put you on a diet, not a diet that helps with that. They just put you on a bad diet, a diet that's very bad for you. Now, as you will see from the links that I leave in the description dealing with diet and these symptoms, a lot of diet, basically a heart-healthy diet, is an anti-dementia diet. An anti-cancer diet is an anti-schizophrenia diet. And I mean, what you'll find out is, generally speaking, these things are healthy. Now, what you'll notice in some of the research on glycine, the levels of glycine in the research subjects was normal, but the lower end of normal it was, the better they responded to the glycine therapy at reducing the negative symptoms of schizophrenia. Why is this important? Well, this is important because, like Dr. Bruce Ames, the creator of the triage theory of aging and disease, like he points out, and like Dr. Abram Hoffer points out, what is average may not be optimal. And that's the thing, is one of the reasons I think we have such an explosion of people with autism, particularly autism and particularly psychotic disorders that we didn't have before, is mass malnutrition. There is massive malnutrition due to the modern diet, and you not only see issues with autism, which has increased quite a bit, but you also see issues with heart disease, cancer, things of this nature. Now, cancer has dropped, but that's due to early detection and things like that, and better medications. But you're seeing incidences of these things go up, and that's very important. Now, with the adrenochrome thing, what's funny about this whole concept of adrenochrome is it's damaging to the brain. It's damaging to the nervous system. It's damaging to the individual. This is not something that people would want to be taking as a performance-enhancing substance, as is speculated by the people that follow the Qanon theory. It does not enhance performance, it destroys the organism. And that's what's important to understand with these theories. Now, I think the reason that you have such acceptance of widespread conspiracy theories, like the QAnon stuff and things like that, is again due to massive malnutrition, due to massive intake of media that promotes these things. I mean, for God's sake, you have a president that promotes these ideas from the top down. But the point that I would make is, when you combine the concepts of malnutrition, we have mass malnutrition in this country. We do not have optimal nutrition. People have gone away from diets that are health promoting, and you have this constant, basically disinformation campaign from on high, and in the media, and in the public, and on social media. People are no longer capable of questioning these things. Now, that's why I left the links. I want people to look these things up. I want people to read about them. And I want people to do things. Now, I also left links. When I worked at a drop-in center, I had to run a support group called Schizophrenics Anonymous, which was really ridiculous because, like I said, I wasn't diagnosed with schizophrenia. So I talked to a couple of the people that attended the group to explain to me what it's like to have these symptoms. And it's very disturbing, but I did leave a link to Schizophrenics Anonymous for people that want to take advantage of that. And also a lot of the links to the diets that help with the management of mental health issues. Now, of course, I'm not a physician. Don't take anything I say as advice on doing anything, but if it's an interesting thing to you, search out the basically the help of an orthomolecular psychiatrist or a regular psychiatrist that would be willing to work, or even a family physician that would be willing to work with you at pursuing these things to achieve better control of the symptoms that you may or may not be experiencing with mental health or dementia, what have you. And that's all for this video.